What's going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Tim Hyde here from Blue and Gold with news of a Fighting Irish football commitment, and that is, as you can see, three-star receiver Kaleb Smith from Frisco, Texas, Reedy High School, 6'1", 180 pounds. We're going to talk about what this commitment means for Notre Dame, and we'll start, Tim, by getting into his tape. And of course, folks, if you like what you see, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of the latest Notre Dame football and recruiting content. But yeah, Kaleb Smith, what do you see on his tape, Tim?
Well, the one thing I love more than anything is where he's from, the great state of Texas. And as you know, covering recruiting, Mike, is Texas throws the football. That high school state throws it all over the place. You look at the Big 12, you look at all these schools that are just wide receiver centric offenses every week that you're watching Big 12 football. Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Notre Dame played obviously in the bowl game. These are all Texas wide receivers, Texas school kids all over the place. So I love he's a Texas kid. He's gone through 1,000 camps, 1,000 7-on-7s. He runs outstanding routes. He's got beautiful hands. Great route right there, taking it to the house. I mean, what's not to love? And on top of that, you're getting a position of major need, and you just keep putting another body in that room to see who's going to develop, who's going to come alive and be a guy for Notre Dame on Saturdays, and that's the wide receiver position.
I think he could be a sleeper of the class, for sure. We didn't think Jaden Thomas was going to be some big-time baller. You know, when he came in the same recruiting class with Deion Colsey and Lorenzo Styles, I thought he was going to play on defense eventually. And here's Kaleb Smith, who's coming in late in the class. He held just a couple of offers, right? Notre Dame and Texas Tech and the Red Raiders, the school he was committed to back in, I want to say it was February of this year, and was solid with that pledge. And then Notre Dame comes along and takes an official for the Clemson game, and took a couple of weeks to kind of come to that final decision and announce it publicly. But hey, it's here, and it's good news for Notre Dame. Tim, I mean, just in terms of his attributes, he's 6'1", 180. He's fast. You know, he seems to just have a clean awareness of the game. He's playing in Texas, so what's his rating in this nationally at receiver? 60 to 136 depending on the ranking. But so in the state of Texas at receiver, he's what, it's in the 20 or 30s, right? Ranking wise, you know how good that actually is, though. How many good receivers there are in the state of Texas.
Yes.
So I think this kind of a point of might have been just overlooked. Yeah. He seems to have a good feel of the game, a good size. I like him a lot, Tim, especially when you look at how well Notre Dame's been recruiting at the receiver. When's the last time we were complaining about the receiver play? That's all we did last year. Receiver play, receiver recruiting, Firedell. No, we're not even talking about it much because it's just been so good. And if Kaleb Smith's your lowest ranked guy of the class at receiver, okay, that's fine. I'm very happy in that case then.
No, that's a great point, Mike, when you break down the rankings like that, and that's going back to Texas. I mean, I watch the Texas playoffs all the time, especially, they're all on national TV and whatnot. And these guys, every team's in four wides all over the place. They're chucking it all over the place. And so when you get him where his ranking is, he's one of the best ones in the state of Texas. And that state has 1,000 receivers, everybody. So I love that. Texas Tech's a heck of a football program as well. So for them just to be like, let's go get this guy away from a Big 12 football school that's been committed for months on months, which shows you like they like him. They love his body type. They love his hands. They love his route running. He's definitely a slot. He's going to be a slot type of a wide receiver.
Okay, that's interesting. Why do you say that, Tim? Why do you think he's
just body size? I'm just going body size and whatnot.
I got the size of like a Styles though. It's like 6'1", 180 is about Lorenzo Styles.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think he's got the blazing speed to play the outside, the wide side, field side, which is take vertical shots. I think he could be an outstanding crosser, which we see in his film. Inside slants, those buzz flats that they run a lot of, quick dumps. That's where I see him. I really like his skill level, and just keep going back to that, where he's from, the development that goes in there. And on top of that, Mike, talking about the receivers this year, which Coach Stuckey, his 1 year at Baylor, the connections he must have made a lot of friends in that state of Texas because it is really paying off. On top of that, I mean, probably, a couple of the most improved football players on this year's team were the wide receivers, the way some of these guys develop. So, he's coaching the living heck out of these guys, and it could be a strength, starting next season.
Yeah. Yep. Love Chancey Stuckey. Think he's done an incredible job. So, yeah, you got Kaleb Smith, and then you got one of the most productive receivers in the history of high school football, Jaden Greathouse. I believe I was told he's never missed a game. I don't knock on wood. I know he's dinged up in this past weekend's game, but he's lost one game, 3 state titles since he's been there, and they're probably going to win a 4th this season.
Yep.
So, he's 6'2", 220. Got Braylon James from Round Rock, Texas, Stony Point, 6'2", 185, another big-bodied receiver, 4-star guy. Rico Flores, 6'1", 200 pounds. It's Mike Goolsby's favorite player in the class, just a technician at the spot. It's just got all these big, long receivers, and I like Flores and Smith in I like all these guys.
Yes.
James, to me, is the one guy you definitely put outside, but I think Greathouse you could work inside. It's a really, really good receiver class, Tim.
Yes.
Notre Dame has to be absolutely fired up about that quartet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I look at those 4, is James with the speed. He's a track guy, the hurdles, he's athletic. Take the top off, you put him to the wide side. Greathouse, his physicality. He's thick, strong. The thing I love about Greathouse is his blocking. His highlight, when he blocks you, he's knocking the living hell out of you. He is a physical football player, but boundary, you get so many one-on-one matchups. So you're going to get him. And then I like the other 2 as type of slots.
Yeah.
Rotate from there. Flores has played a lot of wide side at Folsom High as well. Wide side receiver on a lot of his film. But you got 4 guys, I think 2 great outside ones, 2 really, really good inside ones that you can move around. And to bring in 4 on top of Tobias Merriweather last year, and obviously people forget Colsey, Thomas, Styles, they're only going to be juniors. And those 3 have played a ton of football in the last 2 years. So you're starting to build up some really good depth, some competitive depth, which is going to be great for Coach Freeman moving forward.
And Notre Dame has a couple of guys in like Dylan Edwards and Jeremiah Love who are committed to Notre Dame at running back, but also could play some slot receivers. So Notre Dame and this kind of renaissance, if you will, under Mark Freeman is just loading up on skill positions, like not having situations where Notre Dame just gets absolutely slaughtered out on the edge because, they just don't have the dudes. Well, Notre Dame needs, figure out the quarterback position so they can get the ball to those guys and go win a national championship. Just as easy as that, Tim.
And then, And then on top of that, Mike, one of the best players in the class of 2024, Cam Williams is already committed. So you've got an elite wide receiver coming in that year that on top of CJ Carr at quarterback. So you're already moving out a year from now where they're getting a big time high school wide receiver prospect. And the class of 2024, this wide receiver class may be better than what they're bringing in now if they get some of these guys that they're on that are highly, highly ranked. So it's a heck of a job what they're doing, retooling the offensive skill, which has been down, the last few years. No doubt about that.
Yep, definitely exciting time to follow Notre Dame football recruiting and exciting time to follow Blue and Gold on our YouTube channel. So please do subscribe to our channel for more content. Hit that thumbs up to help support what we're doing here. Head to blueandgold.com for more coverage on this breaking news. And as always, folks, we'll catch you next time.